All right, guys, what is up and welcome to the channel. Here to give my thoughts slash review over the season 3 finale of Tulsa King, episode entitled Jesus Lizard. So before I do all that, guys, if you're new to the channel, I have a scoring system on the channel. It's 0 to 5, 0 being trash and 5 being a masterpiece. Now, I gave this episode a 2.5 out of 5. I thought it was just lukewarm, man.
You are neither cold nor hot. So because you are lukewarm, I will spew you out of my mouth.
And I thought it was all right. It wasn't what I was expecting for a finale, but it was at the same time because it was very predictable. I thought maybe the stakes would be a little bit higher, but it appeared they were not. And so we're going to talk about that and just I'll give my overall thoughts over the season and possibly what could we be looking at as far as season 4, because it has been announced that there will be a season 4. So it's going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure it's going to premiere after, I don't know. I think it may, because, Samuel Jackson's getting a spinoff. So I think season 4 will probably premiere after. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's talk about it. So, like I said, this episode is very predictable, very short. It's only 36 minutes long. That's the thing that got me. I was expecting 50 minutes, 55 minutes at least, but 36 minutes. And the main thing is we're trying to get Joanna back because she got bagged up at the end of the last episode. And so of course, Jeremiah lets us know that he has her. He basically puts it out for Dwight that it's bourbon or blood. You can't have both. You can only have one, the blood being your sister or the business. Give over the business to me and you'll get your sister back. Or if not, she may not be long for the world. So, of course, Dwight, he's stressed out about it. And, we have some interplay between Joanna and, Dunmire. And right away, she understands the situation to the point where Cole tries to get at her to talk to her. Initially, he shut down. He's been given his dad's cronies have been given orders that Cole is not allowed to, enter. But Cole finds a way in. He just randomly comes into the room and he starts to have a discussion with Joanna, basically telling her, like, look, why don't you just tell your brother to sign it over? It's not worth it. And she basically tells him, like, look, you think if I sign over this business to your brother or to your father, he's going to let me live? And then you think Dwight, there's only one way this is going to end. One of them has got to go. And so for her not signing, that's keeping her alive because essentially she's bait. Jeremiah wants Dwight to come and attack. Now he's not, and I'll get to, just give me a minute though. But anyway, he wants to bring him out and he wants Dwight to attack because he's on the defensive. He's got the home court advantage. Currently Dwight and him don't know where she is. Flash forward, Cole decides to betray his father, which, I've been saying all season that, he's going to go against his father. I mean, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles could see he was going to turn on his father. And so he goes to Spencer. Spencer goes to Dwight while they're having the war council. Of course, it gets a little skittish because, of course, they brought in Cole. Cole is the enemy. And he basically tells them, here's the thing, I don't want to do dark things for my father anymore. I know where your sister is. And then, okay, the stamp of approval comes from Lee, Samuel L. Jackson's character, that basically says, I can look a man in the eyes. I've, being a hitman, he could tell you right away if somebody's lying or not. And this guy is telling the truth. So they get around and Cole basically draws the dynamic, or excuse me, draws up the schematics for his where they live, their house, where she's being held. He draws it up to where these guys are going to have the advantage. Of course, they get their arsenal. Everybody's strapping up. Goody is told to stay because Goody is a capo regime. He's a capo. He's a captain. And so Dwight says, if anything happens to me, you got to be the one to run this. So this was a nice little, little moment between them because Goody was ready to get down, but Dwight told him, I need you to stay behind. And so they come up to the Dunmire compound, and because of the intel from Cole, they search former military guys. They get busy with the crew, and of course, like I said, we got Lee, we got Grace, we got Tyson, we got Mitch and Dwight. They assault the compound, and basically they go through their crew like it's nothing. They get Joanne out of there, and then we get a showdown between Dwight and Dunmire, which Dwight just beats the ever loving shit out of him. And then in a ironic twist of fate, he strings him up, and Dwight sets him on fire to kind of poetic to what he did to Montague. So he got a taste of his own medicine, and his ass is ashes now. And he's out of here. Now, one of the issues I had was, okay, Dunmire knew Dwight would eventually find him and come. This guy, no concept of any kind of perimeter defense. Like, they had a perimeter just right outside the house, but these people, they live on an estate. So there's a long road to come up. They had nobody even at the front gate. So Dwight and crew was able to just get up on them like it was nothing. Like I said, no stakes. And the thing about it was, talking to these guys, the business there, like, it's a serious thing. Well, we haven't seen it be very serious. I mean, yes, like I said in my breakdown, Jimmy, but that was Bodie's boy. He got killed. But I feel somebody in the inner circle needed to get clapped last night. Or like I said, it had to be Dwight, he wins but loses kind of thing. So, like, for example, if he got his sister back, he lost the business, or he got to keep the business, but he lost his sister, But no, Dwight, Dwight, like he's done the last 2 seasons, he always wins, even when he loses. And so I think that kind of hindered the show overall. Like like I think the whole season was just they were trying to do a little bit too much by having New York being heavily involved for a little bit and then just disappearing. We lost Bill Balalakwa. He's gone. Like, Musso bagged him up. We haven't seen him since. The whole Musso story, I mean, once again, like I said, I just felt I think they should have just focused on Dunmire just being the villain throughout. Let that be Dwight's main antagonist that he has to deal with, but all this other stuff. And it's just like they introduced this stuff, and then it's like they forgot about it. They forgot all about it, and so that really bothered me because I like this show. I really do. I really like it. And I'm not saying the season was bad, but I was looking up where Terrence Winter was one of the writers. And Terrence Winters is a talented writer. He's written for The Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire. And you could tell those first 2 seasons, it was pretty tight. Like, it was tight. He's not involved in this last season. And you can definitely tell the writing has, fell off a little bit. But once again, I must reiterate, I enjoyed the season as a whole. I just think it had a little bit more problems than the other seasons. Now, I will say this, Samuel L. Jackson, he was only in 2 episodes, but damn it, he stole the show. And I'm really looking forward to a spinoff. They did a great job introducing him and giving us enough to we know who this guy is. He's very charismatic, interesting, and we want more of him. And he's getting his own show. He's going to New Orleans, which I can't wait to check it out, man. I believe it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. But yeah, like I said, some of the things some of these setups that they set up, it just didn't pay off. Now, what do I think is possibly going to happen for the next season? I think there's the potential that Thresher will no longer be a pawn, and he'll actually be a thorn in Dwight's side because he became the governor and he was feeling himself, and he's offered Margaret a place at the table and an opportunity to get her land back. He's going to sell it back to her for pennies on the dollar, where it's all hers. And she makes it clear that I'm not gonna be the one wrangling Dwight. And he's like, Dwight ain't. We can make it where Dwight is not gonna be a problem for us and be gone like for good. Like we ain't got to deal with him. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was getting at. And let's just say Margaret didn't seem to object to any of that or didn't seem to look too concerned about it. So I think that may be a little strife between them. I think when Cal starts pressing him, which I think that's going to happen, like where he doesn't want to, play ball with Dwight anymore, and maybe even start pressing Dwight and causing issues for Dwight. Um, I could see that being a conflict, and between him and Margaret, where they may have to break apart. And then I also think New York is probably going to be heavy in season 4. They have to. They, Quiet Pete, everybody. I think, and Vince, they're gonna really come at Dwight. I believe in this 4th season that's coming up. At least they have to. I mean, you can't introduce them like this and then just put them on the back burner and forget all about them. It'll be interesting where Bill falls in all this, or will Musso turn Bill on to working for him and stepping away from Dwight, because Dwight doesn't seem like he wants to play ball with Musso, and he's actually become an hindrance half the time for Musso because Dwight's going to do his own thing, and so he can't control Dwight or whatever, and so. But yeah, all in all, like I said, I gave this finale a 2.5. And like I said, it was short and to the point. But of course, Dwight wins. And we see Samuel Jackson, headed to New Orleans to start his spinoff. And yeah, that's it. So, like I said, I the only issues I really have with the show, like I said, the writing has fallen off a little bit, and there are no stakes. Like I never, during that whole time, the assault, I never got nervous or anything like this. Like I think, and me, if they would allow me to to write the finale, like what really gets cold to turn. Now, Dunmire said, "Oh, I don't hit women," but he indirectly, when she doesn't sign, because all he does is knock some shit around to try to intimidate her. A jump scare here and there. He slams an axe into a fucking table. But I think what would have been more convincing was he's like, I don't hit women, but he does. And he has one of his guys torture her to where the point where you think, okay, Joanne might die. And Cole may hear this, maybe get a glimpse of it. And then that's what turns him like, I can't do this no more. My dad has crossed the line. Because what did he say? I don't hit women. And he sees his dad allowing one of his henchmen to beat up on a woman. That is the turning point. I think that could have been for Cole. That would make more sense. I mean, I think his turn made sense because they were, kind of setting him up as the whipping boy all season, and then his relationship with Spencer. But I think you needed something like this to make you feel that, I don't know, there may be a chance that Dwight doesn't get there in time and Joanna, dies. But the whole time, I never felt she was in any real danger. And I think that's the problem with the show. There, like I said, I can't say it enough. There aren't any real stakes and there's no real danger. Like I never felt, oh man, these guys, something bad's gonna happen to these guys. Never. So that's the one critique. One of the two critiques, tighten up that writing, and then 2, don't be afraid to freaking kill somebody or put people in real danger. I get it. Like this is a different kind of mob movie or mob show that has a lot of levity and sense of humor in it, but hey, it still needs to be a little dangerous. I'm just saying. But all in all, guys, that's it. Those are just my thoughts over the finale. Once again, like I said, I'm gonna be there for season 4. I'm gonna watch it, but I just thought the finale and the season as a whole, not a bad season, but finale, it just they didn't stick the landing, and I was a little disappointed. So yeah, guys, like I always say, if it's for 1 minute, 5 minutes, the whole damn video, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to view my content. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe, smash the like for me, and get in the comments and tell me what you thought about this season 3 finale. And guys, I'm gonna go ahead and punch out of here. I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.